Sunny V2. Celebrities who unexpectedly turn their lives around. Let's get it.
Bass rattle shit on my mantle. My vibe is the point of a candle. I told you there's nothing I can't do. I spit on the beat like it's canceled. I'm vicious. Yummy, this beat is delicious. Trey hell like empty. Trey hit my digits like here you go, nigga. Go handle your business. I did it. I ripped it. Feel like a blade with a bay in the front. Running circles. This is not what you want.
Celebrity we'll cover in this video, there are a few who have fixed their life like Robert Downey Jr. Between 1996 and 2001, he was arrested on 6 separate occasions for some crazy different reasons. By this point, he'd already been a famous actor for roughly 10 years, although this didn't stop a judge from giving him 3 years in prison. Upon release, he managed to land a single TV show role, which he was then fired from after police arrested him again, this time for walking around LA under the influence without any shoes on. Given this also resulted in Robert Downey Jr.'s divorce, it's no surprise he'd state it was my lowest point in terms of addictions. At that stage, I didn't care whether or not I ever acted again, although thankfully this didn't happen. He'd appear on Oprah stating,
and I said, you know what, I don't think I can continue doing this. And I reached out for help and I ran with it. It's not that difficult to overcome these seemingly ghastly problems. What's hard is to decide.
Although with his reputation in the dumps, the only role he could land was in an Elton John music video, and when he did return to the big screen a full 2 years later, producers withheld 40% of Robert Downey Jr.'s income to ensure he wouldn't relapse midway through filming. Only 7 years after being released from prison, Robert Downey Jr. was cast as Tony Stark in Iron Man, which grossed almost $600 million at the box office and paved his way for another 7 Marvel movies, although Samuel L. Jackson's turnaround might be even cooler. He'd met his alcoholic father only 2 times in his life, and having grown up in a broken home, it's no surprise that Samuel L. Jackson became an alcoholic himself. In his early 20s, he was booted from 2 plays on Broadway for his substance abuse problems, and by his early 40s, he was still an unknown actor with no money and a heroin problem. Samuel L. Jackson finally attended rehab at the age of 43, and amazingly, only 1 week after doing so, he'd star in a movie called Jungle Fever, which just so happened to be his major breakout role.
Once I got clean, everything kind of changed. The correlation between my career changing and me getting straight is very clear.
In just a couple of years after getting clean, Samuel L. Jackson starred in Jurassic Park, Star Wars, and Pulp Fiction, which then turned into another 6 Tarantino movies and his role in every single Avengers film. Despite finding no success until the age of 43, Samuel L. Jackson has grossed more than any other actor in human history, with Robert Downey Jr. being right behind him in rank number 2.
Scarlett Johansson is the 3rd. Chris Pratt is 4th. Bro, that's a jillion insane. Scarlett Johansson is 3rd, bro.
The success is proportionate to struggle, which is a point often talked about by Oprah Winfrey. She was born to a single teenage mum who was living off welfare on a farm in Mississippi, and as a result, she was primarily raised by her grandmother, who dressed Oprah in stitched-together potato sacks and whipped her for reasons as petty as playing with the family's drinking water.
You get whipped, then they'd be annoyed that you were still sulking about it. You better wipe that frown off your face.
It's therefore no surprise that Oprah had run away from home at the age of 13, although this would lead to her first job as a part-time news reporter, which she was then fired from shortly thereafter.
I only came to co-host a talk show because I had failed at news.
With nowhere else to go, Oprah joined one of Chicago's lowest-rated TV shows, which then became the city's highest-rated talk show less than 2 months later thanks to her presence. Her contribution was so important, the show was not only named after her, but would also become the most popular talk show in American history only 2 years later. In 2003, at the age of 49, Oprah ranked as one of the world's 500 richest people, also becoming the first black billionaire in human history, and while that's a redemption almost impossible to top, Fergie might come close. Despite graduating from high school as a straight-A student, Fergie began using crystal meth every day at the age of 26.
What? That's just shows to tell y'all, chat. This high school shit don't mean shit, bro. You can be straight A's, my nigga. You can be a straight A student. That don't mean shit, bro. When you graduate, bro, real life fucking hit.
causing her to drop down to 90 pounds or 40 kilos, stating, "The drugs thing, it was a hell of a lot of fun until it wasn't, given she experienced psychosis, dementia, and even hallucinations on a daily basis."
I started getting really paranoid. I went one day into this church, and I thought that the FBI and the SWAT teams were outside of the church.
Although this episode in the church also happened to be her turning point.
And I said, if I go out there and the FBI and the SWAT team's not out there, then it's the drugs, and I'm stopping. So obviously I went outside of the church, and there was no SWAT team.
Did you keep your promise?
I kept my promise.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
Fergie kicked her meth addiction in 2002, just months before joining the Black Eyed Peas, where she'd find unbelievable success with Where Is the Love only 1 year later. Fergie has since had a child, built a net worth of $45 million, and is almost 22 years clean. But while Fergie had to wean herself off only one drug, Drew Barrymore...
You know what's crazy about Fergie, bro? Chat, the first time I heard of Fergie, which is so sad. Black Eyed Peas, of course. But this shit, bro. Like, literally, bro, I didn't know of Fergie till that just now, but this is the first time I genuinely heard of Fergie, bro. Which is insane, but it is what it is.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wave at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched.
These niggas are laughing.
So gallantly
This nigga look baffled. Oh my god, chat. Oh my god.
On my mantle, my vibe is...
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Was that star spangled banner yet wave?
Nah, this is generally crazy, bro. This is upsetting. Yo, LeBron.
Let's play some basketball.
Fuck no. Let's get some singing lessons.
Or had to do so with many. Despite coming from an extremely famous Hollywood family and landing one of the lead roles in E.T. at the age of 7, Drew Barrymore was an alcoholic by age 11, a drug addict by age 12, a mental institution
Oh my, age 11?
at age 13, and was legally divorced from her parents by her 14th birthday. She was therefore
Yo, this girl went through a lot. Goddamn.
blacklisted from Hollywood at age 15, was cleaning toilets to make ends meet at 16, and by her 27th birthday she'd been married and divorced twice. Addiction had always been a major family problem.
Almost all of her ancestors were alcoholics.
And would even lead to her doing a nude Playboy shoot in 1995, which would actually become a significant turning point. Steven Spielberg just so happened to be her godfather, and would send Drew Barrymore a blanket for her 20th birthday, attaching a letter with the message "cover yourself up," up, also including the original Playboy images, which were altered to make her look fully clothed. From here, she made the choice to return to Hollywood, appearing in minor roles until her casting in The Wedding Singer roughly 3 years later. This then turned into 50 First Dates and Charlie's Angels, making her one of the world's most well-known actresses, just like Lindsay Lohan, although for a slightly different reason.
I know about this bitch.
The Parent Trap gave her worldwide fame at the age of only 12.
Parent Trap, bro. Yo, this is a great ass movie.
And by her 20th birthday, she'd acted in over 30 productions. However, it'd be during one of these movies called Georgia Rule that a letter was leaked implying that Lindsay's life was spiraling out of control. It read, "Dear Lindsay, you have frequently failed to arrive on time to the set. Today you did not show for work all day. I'm now told you don't plan to come to work tomorrow because you are not feeling well. We are well aware that your ongoing all-night heavy partying is the real reason for your so-called exhaustion. We refuse to accept bogus excuses for your behavior. Today, your actions on Georgia Rule have been discourteous, irresponsible, and unprofessional. You have acted like a spoiled child, and in doing so have alienated many of your co-workers and endangered the quality of this picture. Moreover, your actions have resulted in hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage. We will not tolerate these actions any further." The producer who sent this letter later stated she came to work every day after that. However, Lindsay's personal problems were only getting started. Just months after the letter went public, Lindsay checked herself into rehab for the first time, although this didn't seem to make much difference, as she was then arrested for driving under the influence. Over the following 6 years, Lindsay was arrested a total of 6 different times, while she'd state, "It is clear to me that my life has become completely unmanageable because I'm addicted to alcohol and drugs." As a result, she'd lose contact with her family and attend court-ordered rehab a total of 6 times, while almost every movie she was cast in during this period was a complete and utter flop. But as the negativity began to stack up, so did Lindsay's desire to get sober.
Was it over a period of time or all of a sudden that maybe I do have a problem?
Over a period of time.
And in 2014, she chose to document the process in an 8-part series with Oprah.
My main objective is, to maintain my sobriety.
And have you been sober since we last met?
Yeah.
The show was given awful reviews. However, Lindsay Lohan was finally back on the straight and narrow. She'd moved to Dubai that very same year because there's a certain calmness that I find in Dubai. There's no paparazzi, no cameras, that's a big deal for me. Not to mention the strict culture has helped her to stay sober.
You don't see people going to liquor stores and drinking and that kind of thing. You can go out and have fun, but it's a different kind of fun that you have.
Lindsay has since fixed the relationship with her parents, gotten married, had a child, and even returned to the big screen. But while Lindsay's dark period could have likely been avoided, Liam Neeson's was tragically thrown upon him. Having found success with every type of movie you can think of, Liam Neeson and his family had seemingly the perfect life. However, on the 18th of March 2009, all of this changed unexpectedly. Liam Neeson's wife, Natasha Richardson, was taking a beginner ski class in Canada when she fell and hit her head. The fall wasn't bad enough for her to ask for medical attention, so she'd simply return to her hotel room and tell Neeson she'd taken a tumble in the snow. Well, it turns out her brain had been bleeding the entire time, and after experiencing a splitting headache, she was rushed to the hospital and pronounced dead shortly thereafter. Neeson's final words to his wife were, "Sweetie, you're not coming back from this. You've banged your head. I don't know if you can hear me, but this is what's gone down," while one of their sons stated, "It was so sudden. When it's unexpected and it's just a complete freak accident, it really sort of messes with your mind whether you believe in fate or not." She was a terrific mother. Neeson never remarried after the incident. However, he and his son played the 2 main roles in a movie called Made in Italy, the synopsis of which being almost identical to what they'd gone through in real life. Liam Neeson notably states in the movie,
"Disappointment is an absolute certainty. Everyone lets everyone down at some point. How you come back from that, that's romance."
With this redemption only being rivaled by Macaulay Culkin. After starring in Home Alone at the age of only 10, Macaulay Culkin became the world's most famous child star. He continued to appear in movies for another 4 years before choosing to retire at the age of 14 so he could live a normal life. Culkin was described by co-star Joe Pesci as being a really sweet kid and even at his age very professional.
He brings an incredibly mature perspective to everything he does, in spite of being very young.
However, as Culkin became an adult, he'd go through many periods of turbulence. For starters, Macaulay Culkin's success ruined the relationship he had with his father.
Everything that he tried to do in his life, I excelled at, before I was 10 years old.
While his earnings of $23.5 million before his 15th birthday.
Oh my
also caused his parents' divorce in that very same year.
But as the money pours in, the Culkin family falls apart.
In the process, Macaulay began to experiment.
I wanted to like drink 40s and like get laid and smoke pot. Like that's
what the what?
What I wanted to do, and that's what I did.
And in 2004, he was arrested and briefly jailed for possession of weed. The Home Alone star, 24, was given 1-year deferred sentences on each of the charges and ordered to pay $540 in fees, after which the tabloid press took this photo and accused Macaulay of taking even harder drugs. He'd respond by stating, "No, I was not pounding 6 grand of heroin every month or whatever," although at the same time he would talk about drugs by stating, "I do love them, they're like old friends, but sometimes you outgrow your friends, and it's therefore no surprise that Culkin has since gotten sober. I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't had drugs in my life at some point or another. I had some illuminating experiences, but it's also effing stupid. So besides the occasional muscle relaxer, no, I don't do drugs recreationally."
You're remarkably normal.
Oh, thanks. I know, people are always struck at how normal I am. I'm like, just like, wow, really? I think my
you
reputation.
made it through the maze
I guess
of being
so.
a famous child.
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin recently had a baby and is these days usually only in the press for positive reasons.
Damn. My boy. Damn. Okay. All right, chat. Let's see what else he got here.